Good afternoon. It's Lindsay. It's December 17th, 2024. It's Tuesday. And so I'm going to talk today, more of a video today about gang stalking and smear campaigns, continuing about this discussion. When you make a narcissist angry or piss them off, what they do to retaliate or get revenge and things like this that they do. I've talked a lot in my videos about that particular handler, agent, whatever the fuck, cop, whatever the fuck he is, harassing me and exploiting me, who has been exploiting me for the past year and a half, over the past year and a half at least. And so, of course, I talk about it because what else am I supposed to do? I can't necessarily get any credibility by going to the corrupt police or whatever, FBI, because these motherfuckers work for the fucking police and FBI as drug in whatever. They're all involved with drug cartel stuff. It's obvious because I know by my observation skills and my common sense that every time that person, that man, narcissist, psychopath, would come to my home and basically violate my boundaries, people would show up at that drug house next door, like everybody. It's all this action would start happening as soon as he would show up in my driveway. And most of the time he'd come over uninvited, by the way, especially after I blocked him on my phone and told him to leave me alone and stop using coercive abuse and harassing me to try to get what you want from me. And he still would violate my boundaries and harass me and manipulate me, because that's what psychopaths do. Is what when you tell a person no, that you don't want to see them anymore, that you don't want to be involved with them, that you're not gonna be their puppet or their toy or a object to abuse. They take it. They can't accept no. They can't accept the word no, and that's the problem with them. Is they can't just walk away from something, and they have to make sure that their victim or whoever whatever I'm a survivor, but it is you are in a state of victimhood with these people, because when it's actually going on, it's so overwhelming and shocking that you can't believe it's happening, because they have a way, they're so demonic that they fuck with your head so much, such that when you are actually in their presence, they gaslight you, they harass you. It's like they put a spell on you. I swear to God, it's very difficult to explain what I'm talking about unless you've been exposed to these kinds of people. And I can give example after example of what this person would do to me in my own house, at the table where I sit, where everything I use, like my workspace. He would invade my boundaries, act like he owned my house, like basically territory. Do you know what it feels like when you are having your privacy invaded, your boundaries invaded by somebody who you don't really even know that well? I mean, it's almost impossible to get to know. I mean, you know them, you know they're a psychopath, but when you start to try to ask them questions about their life and about their living space and about things like that, they get really offended. Okay, they get offended to the point that you cause a narcissistic injury with these people anytime you ask them questions about their past, about they tell you things anyway. They'll give themselves away. But if you start to ask them questions about things that trigger them, like their childhood or trauma from their childhood, they get very angry. Like they're not going to show it because they don't really show emotions. Psychopaths lack emotions. They are so cold that they cannot express any emotions. And if they do, it's usually robotic. It's like being around a robot. Even when you're intimate with them, it's like everything is robotic and calculated and scripted. It's very uncomfortable. And you feel that, you know there's something wrong, and you still continue to. It's like you're just sitting there like in shock, like what the fuck are you? Are you a machine? Are you a robot? Because it's like you're not dealing with a human being who has emotions, is how it feels. They're psychopaths. There's something called there's primary psychopaths and secondary psychopaths. A primary psychopath is one who is basically came out of the womb that way. They were born that way. It's beyond their control. These people don't change. They don't have the capacity to be a human. They just are psychopaths because that's how they were born. Okay, this is true. They're not even human. They are basically of some other kind of category. They behave like animals. They literally behave in your presence, especially when they want something from you sexually, and you tell them no. They start to act like animals. You see animal-like characteristics emerge in front of you. And I'm speaking the truth because I have seen this over and over and over again with certain individual men. And I've seen it with women too, who behave like that, like animalistic, but I'm not intimate with women, thank God. I'm not a lesbian. No offense to lesbians, but I've never been with a woman intimately. But I've seen how they behave. I've seen some women behave like fucking animals, like the way they behave like animals, like act and behave like animals in their characteristics or their behavior. It's almost like just very primitive and uncivilized is all I could say. I mean, I'm not, they're just, that's how some people are. Now back to the psychopath thing. A primary psychopath is one who is just that way from the day they were born. They just are. They basically were rejected in the womb of their mother. The mother didn't want them. And so basically throughout that pregnancy, she knew that the child she was carrying was an unwanted child because most likely the child was conceived out of adultery or maybe she was raped or the father, whatever, a bastard child, they call it, the son of a bastard. And I hate to sound like cliche and I hate to sound like I'm being prejudiced or like whatever, but when you've been around people like this and you find out that, yeah, in fact, that person is a son of a bastard child or born from adultery or whatever. I was born from an adulterous affair as well, but I don't consider I don't think I'm a full-blown psychopath. I might have some secondary psychopathic tendencies because of all the incredible psychological abuse I've endured throughout my life and survived, but I'm not a full-blown narcissist, nor am I a psychopath. But I do have a tendency myself to dislike a lot of people and just want to be alone. And but I don't consider myself to be, because psychopaths, I don't act like an animal. I don't eat animals. I don't act like an animal. I don't think I'm that way. But psychopaths, like I'm talking about, these either secondary or primary psychopaths, it doesn't matter. They don't have a concept of they invade your boundaries. They're very they lack object constancy. Okay, they don't seem to understand that you have to respect people's privacy. You have to respect other people's boundaries. And you cannot violate a person's privacy uninvited. But for whatever reason, the simple concepts of that, they don't seem to understand, and that's because of their childhood. That all stems back from however they're raised as a child or whatever happened to them as a child, whatever traumatic event happened to them throughout their childhood or teenage years, that they behave in ways which are extremely malevolent. I mean, they're psychopaths. You don't be fooled by these people. They look good. They might look okay. They might dress well. They may have a nice car, live in a nice home, have a nice family a lot of times or whatever. But when you start to really be around them, the way they treat you is a reflection of how they treat. If they treat you like shit and they degrade you and devalue you constantly and criticizing you about your appearance and mocking you, it's number one, because they're envious and jealous of you. Okay? Number two, because they want to compete with you. And number three, because they're fucking psychopaths. They want to have it, everything has to be a competition, especially if it involves somebody from a different culture of yourself, okay? If you're from a completely different culture, you're raised in a different kind of environment, normally, a lot of the times these relationships, even though they seem exciting and, this is cool because that kind of opposites attract thing, whatever, that people have a lot. No, I mean, yeah, it's true that sometimes opposites attract, and some of those relationships work out just fine with the opposite culture or skin color, whatever, race. Yeah, sometimes those are fine. Sometimes they work out okay. But it's all about the way that person was brought up and raised. You know, if they are raised in a household where they're abused, if they are raised not very well educated as far as like morals go, you know, you have to find out what happened to that person as a child. Were they a deviant? Were they a delinquent? Did they get in trouble in school? You know, did they have behavioral pattern problems? Were they in jail as a child? You know, what happened to them as a child and as a teenager? You need to find these things out before you invest too much energy and effort into these people, expecting them to respect you or change, because whatever happened to them as a child, they what they'll do is, because they have arrested development as well, a lot of times they have all these anger issues and unresolved issues, because most of the time they don't want to address problems from their past, because it's too, their culture is not, they don't believe in therapy. They don't believe in addressing the problem. They just act like it, you know, they come from cultures such that it just don't talk about it, you know, just ignore it. And I understand, because in a lot of the way I was raised, same thing, like, just don't talk about it. Well, no, fuck, I'm going to fucking talk about it. If somebody abuses me, maybe it takes a long time and years before I bring up the issue, but I'm going to address it at some point, especially as I get older, when I get triggered and trauma happens in my life, and I ask myself, why did that happen, and what am I doing, and why is that same pattern repeating in my life? And you know, and when you look back in your own life and you realize all the mistakes you've made, because we all make mistakes, right? But you wonder, why do I keep repeating the same kind of pattern over and over again with the same kinds of people who don't respect me, who violate my boundaries, who don't understand me, who degrade me and devalue me? Why do I keep going? Why do I gravitate towards those kind of narcissistic, psychopathic type people? Okay, because we all have reasons why we attract certain people in our lives and why we are attracted to certain people. Usually because you have certain things in common, right? You have certain things in common. So, you know, you like the same kind of music, or you know, something simple. It could be anything like that. It could be something simple like, because a person has a tattoo, or you have tattoos, or you like the same kind of food, or, you know, whatever. It could be something very simple like that. But it's easy to find people that you have commonalities with. It's easy to find people that you have things in common with. Yeah, it's easy. Everybody's got similar interests. But when you're with a person who's completely so disrespectful of you for whatever reason, because they don't like you, because there's something about you that they don't like, so they're going to rub it in your face and shame you and humiliate you in as many ways as they can, and they keep on, and you tell them, you know, it's over, I'm sorry, this is not working out, we're not compatible, I don't feel that attraction to you. Whenever you try to tell these people that, you know, because I've had to do that, they get very offended, and then they blame you. Then it's your fault. They project everything that you do, because they can't handle rejection well. I've been rejected thousands of times, many a time in my life. All the time I've handled it, but I handle it in a way that I get over it. I just move on. Why would anybody want to stay with somebody who degrades you and devalues you? I don't care if you're married to that person. I don't care if you're in a 5-year relationship with them. You shouldn't remain with somebody who doesn't respect you and value you as a person, and value your opinions, value your likes, your hobbies. If all they want to do is change you into something that they want you to be, into somebody who they want you to be, then that right there is like a major indicator that person doesn't respect you and is never going to respect you. Because otherwise, why would they're with you because they want something from you, and either it's something monetary, or whatever. It's never genuine. And that's why I've realized that these people on the fucking internet who I've met, a lot of the times these men, these shallow ass players from the fucking internet who I've met on dating sites, 9 out of 10 times, because I've had a lot of experience with dating sites and dating men from dating sites. And yeah, sometimes every once in a while you'll meet one who's not a liar, who's not a player, who's not married, who's not separated, who's not fucking lying to you, right? Every once in a while. But most of the time, they're lying to you. They are leading a double life. They're complete liars. And they seem to gravitate towards these dating sites because they know that they can get away with putting on a fake character to try to lure you in and to try to attract you with whatever. But once you get to know them and you see who they really are, they're liars. Like, everything's a fucking lie. Like they're completely lying to you about everything. They're married most of the time. They're lying. They're hiding something. And of course, you're not going to know that unless you do some kind of investigation on them or pay to get some kind of a background check on them or do one yourself, But honestly, from my experience with these people, and I've had a lot of experience with dating men from dating sites or relationships, it's they're mostly lying to you. Mostly they're hiding something. So I am very, very weary and hesitant nowadays about wanting to even waste time with them. I don't even, now I'm on one site, but it's like, I'm just like, I can already tell, it's like I'm not going to waste time anymore. I've wasted enough time, and I wasted enough time with the fucking asshole who, the whole time I was with him, he didn't give a shit that I was on a dating site. Still, he's on a fucking dating site. God knows how many he's on. And did all this crap on Facebook to delete, really mean things, really major red flags right from the beginning. Within the first 5 months, I already knew that this guy was, within the first 10 minutes of talking to him, I knew he was a liar. Quite honestly, I already knew. But I still, it's like, for whatever reason, sometimes watching a psychopath in front of you, the way they behave, it's almost kind of like interesting, but at the same time, it's not, because you know that you're just, you're not going to get anywhere with these people that don't expect anything to change. You don't expect them to evolve, because they do the same thing to other people. They find one victim and they move on. They get bored. You no longer have the resources they want. You're, whatever, and they're gonna discard you and then move on. But they're gonna keep on, even though they've discarded you or you discarded them, whatever the fuck happened. Maybe you did it first. They're not gonna, if you did it first, they're gonna not allow that, because they have to be the one to do that, because they're such fucking machista type individuals that they are the ones who have to be in control and power. Because with these people, and I'm talking about men here, it's a power trip. It's all about them having to have a certain kind of power over the female, the woman, and it's a power trip. And I could go on and on about this, because I do have experience with this type of situation where you're pretty sure that this person is a psychopath. I'm pretty sure. I'm not a fucking psychiatrist, but I know about psychiatry. I know about the fucking DSM. I know about these little diagnoses and whatnot. But a psychopath, that's a complete different category altogether. Narcissists and psychopaths are in a category completely on their own, because a psychopath or sociopath is a person who's going to completely fucking put on a front for you and everybody else. But when you're around them by yourselves, just the two of you, and you see how they behave and how animalistic they are and how mean and vindictive and cruel and all the gaslighting and psychological, emotional abuse and maybe even physical abuse, you'll know that that person something's wrong with them. Something's not right. It's like, it's one thing to be moody and one thing to be in a bad mood and be sad about something. But these people, even if they're sad, they're not going to act. They're never, they're too they're very grandiose. It's all about show. It's all about putting on a front to impress people, and with them it's all about image. It's all about their image, because usually they work in these environments where they're surrounded by a bunch of narcissistic people who are all about that status and image. Okay, so they're all about, like, look at me and look at the way I'm dressed and I'm better than you, and it's very arrogant. They're very arrogant as far as the way they treat you and the way they view people. And it starts to wear on you after the more you're around these kinds of people, the more it affects you. The more it affects you, the more it affects your health, your emotional well-being. It starts to really take a toll on you, because it's so physiologically demanding, that the energy that they take from you and the way they treat you, it's like you're in a fucking state of shock. And you'll be, after being around them, it's exhausting. It's like you need to recover. You literally feel like you have to go into a fucking recovery program just from being around them. Because they're such energy toxic people that you feel sick. Like you feel like you're sick. They make you sick physically. Yeah, I swear to God, they physically make you fucking sick. And especially if you're involved with them in an intimate way, be careful. Because usually, like with these kinds of men that are psychopaths, it's all about them. Like I said, whenever it comes to pleasing a female, no, it's all about you pleasing them, because they'll want you to do things that you don't like doing. They'll try to get you to do things that you don't feel comfortable doing, and then when you don't, you feel they start punishing you. If you can't perform or do something that they want you to do, they punish you psychologically, or maybe even, it's really disgusting. Their behavior is really fucking horrible. Because I know, having gone through this, it's upsetting, it's cruel, it's vindictive, you're left confused, like what the fuck just happened, and then you find out that person is doing things like that with other women in nasty fucking motels or whatever, because they're sex addicts and they're lying to you. Yeah, it's disgusting. You can't expect these people to remain faithful to you in that kind of way when they're addicts of sex addicts. Don't expect a sex addict or an alcoholic or a drug addict to remain faithful in a relationship, because they can't do it. Narcissistic people cannot remain monogamous. They just can't. They don't believe in it. They think it's a joke. They see it as being something that's below them. And so if you're a person who actually believes in monogamy and being honest in a relationship and transparent with your partner, then I would say steer the fuck clear of a narcissistic psychopathic male, because they're going to fucking destroy you. They will ruin you. And they're dangerous. They literally are fucking dangerous. And like I said, I've been dealing with, right now as we speak, a stalker, a predator, psychopath, who is still fucking harassing me, even though I've done everything to tried to do everything by telling them, no, I'm not interested in you. Please leave me alone. This is not working out. But they come back and manipulate you and gaslight you and try to fake their way back into your life when they think that lure you back in with some gift or something. But the gifts that they give you are meant to harm you and damage you. Like, let me give you an example of what this psychopath did to me the other day. First of all, he broke my bed, right? He intentionally broke my bed. So I bought a new bed frame on Amazon. Not that expensive, like $50, $40, $50, whatever, however much it costs. Because he broke it on purpose. What he did was he went in my room and jumped on the fucking bed, sat really hard on it on purpose. He did it all on purpose. I watched him fucking do it, and then he laughed about it. And he knew that bed was a bed frame for a child. I had explained to him before that don't be so rough, be gentle. This is a bed that was for a child. Nonetheless, I never would have fucking broken my bed, but this motherfucker sat on it really hard and he broke it on purpose and then started laughing like it was all done by, like it was intentional, like it's almost like the fucking thing was rigged. I swear to God, this happened like a couple weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago, whatever. So after that, he broke the fucking bed, started laughing at me about it and making fun of me. and thinking that it's funny, like, haha, look what I just did, knowing that you have to sleep in a fucking bed, hello, sleep deprivation, narcissistic abuse. And so then I ordered the new bed. It arrived, whatever. I tried to put the thing together. I tried to assemble it. I was having some problems because it actually is not. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's not that it's difficult to assemble, but maybe I needed some help. I'm sorry, I needed help to assemble it. So I called some people. I went online trying to find a handyman. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable with the total strain. I found somebody, and then I told them, no, I'm sorry, because I was like, I don't really feel comfortable with a total stranger coming into my house, putting a bed together in my room. It felt kind of awkward, if you know what I mean. It's like, that's just weird, especially somebody from Craigslist. It just didn't. It's not safe. I didn't feel safe doing that. So then I did online. I started searching, and I got something called Angie's List, and then they are asking you all these questions about remote. So I got a bunch of responses because I also had some things that I needed done in the bathroom. So I got all these responses from people, or several responses from people who are carpenters and whatnot, like real professionals, professionals at their carpentry and whatnot. So I was overwhelmed, and I was like, I can't, fuck it. I'm going to keep sleeping on the floor, on the mattress for a while until I figure out what to do. This is just too overwhelming. I just need to think about it and let me figure out. I'll try to put the bed together again, but for now, it's okay. I'm going to sleep on the floor. It's uncomfortable. I don't like sleeping on the mattress on the floor, but I'll do it for now. It's okay. No big deal, right? So I did that for a couple weeks, a couple weeks. Yeah. At least 2 weeks, I guess, sleeping on the floor. And then all of a sudden, and then I was like, and then I told my cousin was going to actually fix it for me. And then I ended up telling him. Nonetheless, what happened was that, okay, all of a sudden, let me give you an example of these fucking narcissistic psychopaths gaslight. And since they monitor you and they want to find a way, any kind of an excuse to get back into your life, to punish you or humiliate you or shame you. So I'm here at home one day. I have this person blocked, and I told him I have him fucking blocked. I said, don't fucking call me. The reason I blocked him is because, number one, I don't want to see him anymore. No, I don't like him like that. I just don't have any, I feel repulsed by him now, actually. But I have him blocked, and he still kept fucking showing up at my door or knocking on my window and whatnot. And so one day I'm here at the computer, I guess, doing something, maybe making a video. I don't remember what I was doing, but he shows up, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck, whatever. So he manages to weasel his way into my house. I'm thinking I should just call the police. What am I doing? Here we go again. Here I go again, letting the narcissist psychopath back into my house. Okay, knowing good and well that his intentions are evil and that he doesn't have good intentions. So I let him back. He manages to manipulate his way back into my privacy zone, my boundary zone. And it just so happens that, it's like I told him, you know what? You fucking broke my bed. You're here. Why don't you fucking put my bed together, asshole? I'm thinking to myself. I didn't say it like that, but I'm thinking, you know what? Since you're so fucking desperate to see me and get my attention, then put my bed together that you broke. Here, I have a new bed. Why don't you put it together? Do something. Do something for a change. Instead of sitting around, wasting my fucking time, taking up my fucking space. Do something. Show me that you can fucking do something. So he did. He actually helped me put the thing together. But and then he was making fun of me basically the whole time, like trying to make fun of me about it, like making me feel stupid that I couldn't do it myself. You know how they are. So he helped me do that, but it was all, oh, wow, of course there's something expected for that. And then, and then he throws me $50, like, oh, here's for the bet. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want your fucking money. I already paid for it. Take it. I broke it, So that's meant to insult me as well, to make me feel like a fucking prostitute or something, It's very degrading, very fucking insulting what they do, how they fucking entrap you and make you look so fucking horrible. These situations are so humiliating. But I was like, I needed help to put the fucking bed together, so he did that. And then, so then that happened. And then I'm like, get out of my house, just go. I don't want anything else from you. Please leave. And he wouldn't leave. I had a hard time getting him out of my house. Finally, he ended up leaving. And I said, I don't want to see you anymore. It's over. I have you blocked. Don't call me. I don't want, and he's like, why? Why do you have me blocked? Because you keep fucking calling me from your fucking job, making a scene, trying to get attention from your fucking female fucking coworkers and causing problems for me. It's very stressful. And he does that on purpose because he's a little fucking drama queen. He needs attention, and he likes to use me to get attention from other women, his clients at Saks Fifth Avenue, who are probably wealthy. So he loves to use me to triangulate me with all these fucking people who he works with to try to get me jealous or whatever, them jealous, because he's involved with God knows how many women he's fornicating with or whatever. I don't know, and I don't want to know, but I know that he's a fucking liar. And for all I know, he's still married. I believe he still is, because I did a search online, and apparently his ex-wife, somebody by the name of Miss Gomez is her last name. Connie Gomez is his wife, whatever. Supposed ex-wife. Miss Consuelo Gomez. Apparently they still, apparently if you do a search on him and his address, that wherever she lives, that's in his name. So I guess he owns a house that she lives in. But he says that he lives with his parents, so that's a fucking lie. He doesn't live with his parents. He lives with her, and he's still married to her. So he's a fucking liar. He's married to a woman named Consuelo Gomez, who lives on a street called Vickers Avenue. I don't know where the fuck it is, somewhere on the south side. He's still married to her, but he says that he's divorced. He's married. He's a liar. He's a liar. He says he works at Saks Fifth Avenue in the shoe department. For all I know, that's a fucking lie too. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit. I don't even want to fucking know anything else about this psychopath. But I know he's a liar, and he's been using me, exploiting me sexually in other ways, and he's a fucking liar psychopath who I believe works for the fucking police or government. And so next time he fucking bothers me, this time I'm gonna really go to the fucking police and do a fucking protective order, because I've had enough of his abuse. I've had to change my number. He still keeps harassing me, doing this shit to try to humiliate me with these weird gifts. Like the other day, he shows up with this fluorescent pink jacket. And I'm like, oh, where'd you get that? That's pretty color. Oh, a garage. And he's like, he was fumbling for his words because he was lying. I said, so where'd you get that? And he's like, oh, it's a size large, but it's for petite kids. And I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Is that another fucking insult? A size large for petite, for petite children or some shit like that. Okay? And I said, so where'd you get this? This is really pretty. Why are you giving this to me? What's the point? What's this about? A fluorescent pink jacket, a puffy kind of jacket. It was a good looking. I liked it, but I'm not gonna. And I was like, okay, whatever. Why are you giving me this? What's a hidden agenda of this? Okay. There's always some kind of a weird something with these gifts that they give. When narcissistic psychopaths give you a gift, it's always meant to fucking insult you. There's always some kind of weird meaning behind it. Okay, so I was like, okay, let me think about this. A fluorescent pink jacket and then I said, so where'd you get the Academy? He's like, Academy. You got it at Academy Sports and Outdoors? Really? Are you sure about that? Because first you told me you got it from a garage sale, and now you're telling me you got it from Academy in the petite section for children? Oh, okay, whatever. That's a lie, but okay, I'll take it. So I took the jacket, and I was like, okay, and I hung it up in my closet, and I was like, it's pretty, but I don't want to take... The thing is they make you... Even if whatever gift it is that they give you, even if it's a fucking cookie or whatever, they try to make you feel bad about it. They make it's never done like, it's always done in a malevolent kind of way with these people. It's very sick. It's never out of like genuine caring. It's always something really fucked up about it. It's really, and I swear to God, it's just like really weird what they do. And since I don't fucking tell this person everything anymore, and I have him blocked, and he's pissed off about that, he's trying to get revenge because he thinks that he has control over me. It's like, no, you motherfucker. You're not my fucking husband, thank fucking God. There's not some kind of a covenant contract with you, you asshole. And I'm not your fucking property. And you're sure as a fuck, this is my fucking property too, asshole. So get the fuck out of here. You know, it's like you have to be really direct with them because they seem to think that you're their property. And that what's yours is theirs, and that anything that you've done is that they get credit for. That's how fucked up these people are. And I'm not, thank God, I'm not. Imagine being married to someone like that. Imagine having kids with someone like that, or imagine, let alone being in a real relationship with one of these assholes. Talk about being in a prison. Because he would get mad. Well, who are you talking to? He had even contacted me on WhatsApp. I had installed WhatsApp on my phone, which I fucking hate that stupid WhatsApp thing. I install it and then I uninstall it. I install it and then I uninstall it. So I had that thing installed, and all of a sudden I get a message from him. Hey, baby, I've been looking for you. What's going on? I miss you, baby. Baby, why, baby? What's up, baby? Call me, baby. Fuck you, motherfucker. Don't fucking... So I had to uninstall WhatsApp again. I could have or blocked him on that fucking thing and then uninstalled it. You see, they always find a way to find you. You change your number, they get you, you know, no matter what you do, they're going to continue to harass you because they can't accept no, they can't handle rejection like a normal person. You know, if I'm rejected, I'm like, fine, big fucking deal. So what? Why the fuck... If you've been rejected by somebody, why are you going to continue to stalk them or harass them? What would be the point? You know, obviously they don't like you. Obviously they don't want to have anything to fucking do with you. So why don't you just take it as that means no, I don't want to, I'm sorry, please move on, let me move on. Bye. They can't do that though. They have to make sure, it's like, what? I don't fucking owe you anything. What's going on here? You act like, it's like he acts like he's entitled to my entire life. Excuse me, motherfucker? I didn't sign a fucking contract with you, so get the fuck away from me. And now it's getting to the point where I am going to have to go to the fucking police, like I said. And I told him, if you don't fucking stop harassing me and come into my house, getting on my fucking property, I'm going to call the fucking police. And I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to fucking do it. And next time he tries to do that, I'm going to call 911 and get his fucking ass a fucking restraining order on his fucking ass. Because I'm tired of the fucking psychological abuse that he's caused me. And I had to do a video about this because they continuously leave you messages and gaslight and harass and manipulate. And it's like, get the fucking picture already. Leave me the fuck alone. Go away. I don't want to know anything about it. And by the way, a couple days ago, I drove to his fucking house. I put the fucking dirty blankets that he gave me, some dirty blankets that smell bad, and I put those, I put this bag that he gave me, this maroon fucking bag that he said he got at no, he didn't get that at fucking Saks Fifth Avenue. He got it at a fucking garage sale. You know, some bag that he gave me, in some dirty blankets and that jacket. I just put it in a fucking white trash bag and drove by looked up his fucking address because I wasn't sure how to get there. I remembered, I looked it up and I drove by his fucking house, which I think is his house, and I just threw it over the fucking fence in the fucking trash bag on whatever the street he lives on here in San Antonio, not too far from here. I was like, fuck this, you know. I didn't see his car anywhere. Thank God. I saw his neighbors were all out there, you know, watching. A bunch of people were watching what I did like it was some kind of a spectacle. I was very nonchalant about it. I didn't make a big scene. I just casually walked over to the fence and tossed the bag over in the yard with his stuff in it. I don't want your shit. Don't bring your stuff to my house. Don't give me clothes that are meant to insult me. You know, don't do that because I see what you're doing. I see the vindictive, what you're doing, you psychopath. Okay, I see what you're doing to me, and it's not working. So I had to talk about that because the more you allow them to invade your boundaries and violate you, the worse it's going to get. And every single narcissistic coach out there talks about the same thing. You keep letting them in thinking they're going to, the hoovering, all that shit. It's the hoovering that they do is not meant, it's only to fuck with your head. It's not meant because they care about you. It's only to fucking see how you're doing, to see how much fucking damage they've done and if you've recovered from their fucking abuse. That's the only reason they fucking hoover you. Hopefully, if you're in with one of these fucking psychopaths, you don't get a hoover from these motherfuckers. That's a good thing, to not get a fucking hoover from these dipshits. You don't want to get fucking hoovered by these dumb fucks. But if they do, just remember that it's not because they give a shit about you. It's only to fucking punish you. That's the only reason these narcissistic psychopaths come back to fucking hoover you when you've ended it or when it's over. And keep that in mind if you're going through this kind of fucked up abuse by these people. And that's all I'm going to talk about today. Thank you.